Image 1. Starting off with a clear example of randomness. And by that I mean yet another image or situation that came into my mind. A storm with green lightning, rain, people riding on some kind of reptilian beasts, almost dinosaur-like. Then the drawing grew and grew, and the aesthetical needs led me to add ruins popping out of the water. It was only later, as with a few other works, when I decided to add it to the world building section of Buried Planet, that I added the green mists as a reinforcement to the plot. Image 2, originally meant to be the cover for a shorter story that I wrote a few years back. Nothing out of the ordinary, just the main character sliding through the sands of an alien landscape as he makes his way towards some kind of spaceport. The original drawing that caused me to write such tale, in all fairness, was not that different. This one presented here was just something I decided to come back to once the writing was done. Some of the improvements or additions are the gigantic dinosaur-like creatures slowly marching across the landscape while carrying small towns on their backs. The gigantic animals are also depicted with having quite the substantial machinery attached to or as part of their bodies. But in the end, they too would become part of a larger work as I kept adding to the world of Buried Planet. I discarded that short story entirely and instead decided to add many of its elements to my biggest work yet. This is how a nomad tribe that roams the southern deserts on the backs of three gigantic creatures came to be part of the surface world of Buried Planet. And even though they are not even referenced on the final cut of the book, I decided to use this one too as part of the world building process. I really like how it turned out. Image 3. This one is the easiest type of work. Just one of those cases where having the plot already locked down, I just come back to add a few more illustrations. I merely go through it all over again and try to choose the best moments to add a picture. I always try to find the proper space between them as to help propel the narrative. So yes, it doesn't get much easier than this, for I knew exactly what to do, what characters to depict and in what situation.